you know how much the sea level has been rising already due to human activity and global warming? Well, what do you think? Write in the comments. And you know, the facts are that we already achieved 210 millimeters or 21 centimeters, it's something like this. Yeah? So, and that doesn't really seem so much. And, you know, of course, also like measuring these kind of values in the past, and it wasn't really so easy. But nowadays we have satellites, and here's like the last 30 years, and it shows like really quite steady increase of sea level all the time. So this is like millimeters, this is a time, and you see that's really quite straight. And we had like over the last 30 years, we had like 100 millimeters of sea level rise, you know? And that's very exact data coming from satellites. So that's really cool. And we see that, you know, the sea level is rising. So the question is, where is this going to? In the year 2100, where all these scenarios are usually like focused at year 2100, they say in the best case scenario, really in the best case, we have like 40 centimeters, yeah, so 0.4 meters, yeah. But this is actually the best case scenario, and it's very, very unlikely that we actually achieve that, you know, from where we go right now. In the worst case scenario, we are around 1 meter sea level rise. But for the worst case temperature scenario. But now it's also hard to predict really how fast the ice is melting. So they say, you know, if this worst case scenario of temperature comes in and we really have high temperatures, then there's like the worst case melting scenario and we come so around 2 meters. So it's like, yeah, it very, very likely is like something like zero, you know, the likelihood scenarios are around, let's say 70 centimeters compared to the year 1900. So that's really something, you know, it's like 75 centimeters, for example, is a lot of things. Yeah? So it's 3/4 of a meter, something like 2.5 foot or so. Yeah? And that's going to be something that's going to get felt in a lot of areas in the world. But, you know, let's just jump a little bit more in the future, because, you know, this whole ice sheet melting thing is like taking time, and, you know, you have to look like more in the future to see what the effects are. And then you see, hey, if we look at the year 2300, you know, like 275 years in the future, there the scenarios are, you know, like several meters up to like 7 in the worst case scenario, and in the worst case melting scenario 15, you know. So that's like really lots of meters there, what we have in melting and sea level rise. So that's going to really get felt, because, you know, like there are some nice interesting maps where you can see how much of the world will be gone if, you know, the sea level rises so much. Thank you very much for watching.